ready now.
Perfectly timed to capitalise on the growing craze around illegal street racing across the Shuto Expressway, Tokyo Highway Challenge would drift onto European Dreamcasts following a stellar run in Japan. It's one of those games which benefits from a cool concept, as the idea of tracking down and challenging individual rivals helped Genki's effort stand out amongst a crowded genre. Unfortunately, on the other side of the coin, it also demonstrates why an idea cannot be leaned on too heavily, as a lack of tracks, repetitive gameplay, and a rather challenging beginning mean it definitely doesn't sit among the best the console has to offer. But for those with a bit of patience and grit, sticking with it might produce a fun time. While Genki's portfolio covered a wide spectrum of genres, their racing titles were the most warmly received, and Tokyo Highway Challenge's brand of arcade racing demonstrates this. The handling feels light yet accessible, braking isn't muddied by the focus on drifting, and weaving through traffic doesn't prove a chore. More than 30 cars are available, each based on real-life car models, and there's some distinct differences between vehicles and how they drive. The NA2, for example, proves the fastest car in the game, but requires considerable skill to navigate around corners. So it boils down to whether your ability can overcome the car's shortcomings. Intense tuning options, unlocked by purchasing vehicle upgrades, can sway vehicles towards full optimization. These prove rather deep and require experimentation to wrap your head around. The main crux of Tokyo Highway Challenge is Quest Mode, which proves something of a double-edged sword. Unique in structure, you're basically given a handful of money to buy a first car and tasked with racing rivals across the highway. You can enter one of two variants of this track, inner and outer, and coloured blocks on the map show rivals you can challenge, each part of a gang which hides a final race once you beat the boss's underlings. Winning rewards CP, which can then be used to either upgrade your current car with new parts or buy a new ride. The way you can freely challenge opponents, essentially setting up your own race course, stands out as distinctive for 1999. There's lots of freedom as to how you approach this, with over 100 rivals to beat, which range from slower to the Four Devers, a quartet of tougher opponents. Unfortunately, this lax structure has two consequences. The lack of tracks to accommodate this means, even switching between the two variants, races start to feel similar, albeit climbing in difficulty. It's also tough going at first, with the jump-in challenge proving possibly a blockade to those not immediately enamoured. But for those who stick with it, it does prove gradually rewarding. Outside of this, there's a small selection of extra modes. Quick Race offers two choices: Sprint Race allowing you to practice your driving, or Circuit letting you run across the entire highway. Sprint proves something of a gauntlet, allowing you to continuously challenge foes, with extra cars rewarded with decent progress. There's also two-player versus, featuring the same modes of Quick Race, and proves quite technically proficient. Those who have put time into Quest can import their upgraded cars, or use vanilla stock vehicles. Lastly, you can freely practice without traffic and opponents to gain a sense of the course, and save replays of your racing if you desire. Quest alone could last over 20 hours, so these extras are icing on the cake. While you can tell Tokyo Highway Challenge was a launch title for the Dreamcast, it does have a few feats worth tipping your hat to. Performance is remarkably smooth, running consistently without hiccups, despite traffic and loading a fairly large area constantly. While car models aren't the prettiest, and aspects such as pop-in and weak collisions are a shame, Genki's engine does hold its own against others from the gen. The sound is what you'd expect from a late 90s racer, with acceptable engine sounds, a handful of original music tracks which encompass trends of the time, and arcade-style clicks on the menu. Tokyo Highway Challenge proves something of a divisive, yet enjoyable racer. The unique structure, solid driving, and plethora of content ensure it sits nowhere near the bottom of the pile. Yet at the same time, these unique elements also contribute to the main faults of Genki's racer. The steep difficulty of the opening hours, repetition setting in due to a lack of tracks, and uneven presentation mean it doesn't quite compete with the best of the Dreamcast racers. However, if you're willing to lend some time and patience to this one, you'll eventually dig up fruitful rewards.